It is finally that time of the year. The moment everyone had dreaded arrived. The Egghead Buster Call was officially activated. The island, along with everything on it, was now fated to be wiped clean off the map, erased as though it had never existed. But even in this chaos, a flicker of hope remained, because by the end of this episode, two absolute monsters would arrive to turn the tide and throw the Straw Hats a lifeline. Meanwhile, the Buster Call had sent the Marines into chaos. Soldiers scrambled across the island like panicked ants, trying to evacuate while shouting questions about the madness erupting at Egghead's center. At the same time, the Straw Hats were hauling Kuma on Atlas's back, desperate to escape with him alive. Vegapunk kept pleading with Saturn, begging him to cancel the order. "This island is the future of humanity," he cried. But his pleas were cut short when one of the 5 elder satellites, the doll-like woman, stepped forward. She told Saturn and Kizaru to retreat to their ships immediately because Egghead was about to become a war zone. Saturn, however, wasn't budging. Coldly, he declared that they were staying until the operation was complete. Then, with a wave of his hand, he gave the command the bombardment would begin. The doll woman was horrified. "You've got to be kidding me," she exclaimed. Kizaru, ever detached, simply told her to leave if she didn't want to end up flattened like a pancake. Vegapunk refused to give up. He pleaded again, this time turning to Kizaru. "Is killing me really the only solution?" he asked. "Egghead contains the culmination of humanity's greatest scientific progress. To destroy it would set back an entire century of advancement." Kizaru lowered his eyes, unable to look at his old friend in the face. Saturn, unimpressed, pressed the scientist further. "Are you still hiding something from us?" he asked. Vegapunk denied it, insisting again that the island's discoveries were vital for the future. But Saturn revealed another chilling detail. He reminded Vegapunk of the ship that had escaped the island just a day earlier. To him, that vessel was a loose end, and he had already sent warships to pursue and annihilate it. Why? Because someone aboard might know the secrets of the Void Century. To Saturn, that alone warranted their execution. Vegapunk's eyes widened with fury. "They're innocent! They don't know anything!" he shouted. Saturn didn't flinch. "Then they are complicit, just like the people of Ohara. They broke the law, and they will share the same fate." What a nice guy Saturn is, huh? Just casually setting humanity back 100 years while wiping out everything in sight. Meanwhile, the Marine fleet surrounding Egghead readied their cannons. The order to fire was imminent. The Straw Hats, realizing time was running out, seized their chance. With Vegapunk drawing Saturn's attention, they rushed toward the vacuum rocket, hoping to escape before the island was reduced to rubble. Bonnie, still clutching Kuma's memories close to her heart, worried aloud about Vegapunk. "What will happen to him?" she asked. Sanji, already springing into action, reassured her. "Don't worry, I'll go get the old man." He then pulled out his Dindin Mushi and called Nami for a status update. Sanji didn't sugarcoat it. "Saturn's triggered the Buster Call," he said. Chopper and Usopp practically exploded with panic, crying that they couldn't possibly handle another one of these destruction calls. Robin stayed silent, though the weight on her shoulders was heavy. This would be her 3rd Buster Call. She had survived one at just 8 years old, and now the nightmare was repeating itself. Chopper urged her to keep resting, while Nami quickly asked if Luffy was still down there in the chaos. Sanji admitted he had no clue where the captain had gone, but he was confident Luffy was fine. As for Zoro, he was still locked in his duel with Rob Lucci. Jinbei rushed over to back up Zoro, making sure the swordsman wouldn't get lost on his way back. But the situation was already messy. The Vega Force could no longer be used to reach the sea because Kizaru had destroyed it. That's when Lilith mentioned that Brook had come up with an idea to escape. Meanwhile, Brook was laughing his skull off, saying that carrying a ship over land was nothing for him. His plan? Freeze the clouds beneath them so the Thousand Sunny could slide across like a sled. Lilith was stunned. She called him a genius since this would let them reach the exit way faster than expected. But then she asked how exactly they were supposed to stop the ship once it was sliding at full speed. Brook froze in place, caught like a deer in headlights, and sheepishly admitted he hadn't thought of that part. Lilith screamed in frustration, realizing they were about to crash if they didn't figure something out. While that chaos unfolded, the Marines tightened their grip around the island. From aboard the ship, Doberman noted that Egghead's barrier was still active, so he gave the chilling order: destroy the central factory and Egghead City. and with that, the dreaded Buster Call began. The skies rained bullets, fists, and explosions. Buildings were blown apart, the city was engulfed in fire, and everything Vegapunk had built was being reduced to ash. Amid the destruction, Luffy was still munching away like a starving hippo, stuffing his face as if the world weren't ending around him. Some Marines spotted him and shouted that the Straw Hat Yonko needed to be captured immediately, but before they could act, cannon fire exploded all around, wiping out their chance. The bombs just kept coming, and Marines screamed in panic that they hadn't even evacuated yet. To make matters worse, the pacifistas were blasting their laser beams into the ruins, setting more of Egghead ablaze. Vegapunk could only stand in despair as he watched his life's work crumble. A century of effort and hope for the future was vanishing before his eyes, and he was powerless to stop it. The scientist broke down, muttering that humanity's progress was being thrown away in an instant. Saturn then gave a cold command to Kizaru: do what must be done. Kizaru, tears threatening to fall, walked toward Vegapunk to carry out the execution. But before he could act, Sanji appeared, furious, demanding to know why Vegapunk was still standing there instead of escaping. Atlas's group had already boarded the vacuum rocket to flee, but of course nothing ever goes smoothly. Kizaru suddenly appeared in a flash, unleashing a laser beam that sliced their ship clean in half. The Straw Hats were sent flying through the air, scattered in every direction. Sanji wasted no time. "I'll save Bonnie," he shouted, kicking off the ground at full speed while telling the others to figure things out themselves. Saturn, meanwhile, gave a new command to the pacifistas: target Bonnie and Kuma. The mechanical soldiers locked on, preparing missiles to erase them both. But in a shocking twist, the pacifistas hesitated when they recognized Bonnie's face. At that exact moment, the real Kuma, bloodied and broken, sprang into action, grabbing Bonnie out of midair. Saturn cackled at the irony, declaring that it was laughable. Kuma had sacrificed everything to protect his daughter, and now his own clones were about to destroy her. A fitting end for such insects, he sneered. Vegapunk, watching in horror, confessed that the day he learned Bonnie had become a pirate, he was terrified. He knew a future like this awaited her, that one day pacifistas with her father's face might be ordered to execute her. And now, that nightmare was unfolding before his very eyes. Outside the island, chaos continued. The Marines launched their bombardment, but something went wrong. Their ships, tasked with chasing down the escaping researchers, were suddenly obliterated. With their dying breath, one of the soldiers sent a desperate message to Kizaru. Someone powerful was heading straight for Egghead. And in the next episode, the drums of liberation will thunder once again. Alongside Luffy, two massive allies will appear to defend Egghead from destruction. Man, this episode was insane! Will the Straw Hats finally escape Egghead, or is this the moment where their luck runs out? If you want me to bring the next episode as soon as it drops, comment One Piece 1139 down below. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're so close to hitting our goal by the end of the year. Also, check out the next video on your screen. It's going to blow your mind. Thanks for watching, and peace out.